Good morning. This is the Great Basin Prescribed Fire Briefing for Wednesday, February 7th. A look on the prescribed fire activity map. Quite a bit going on across much of Utah into the Arizona Strip. A little bit up here in Nevada, but by and large quiet across the north. It's been a wet week up there in the north, in the south, and the west and the east. Widespread precipitation. Also a lot of snowfall. This is the past 24 hours. We see that next wave of low pressure pushing that snow. The areas in yellow to orange are 6 to 12 inches of snow. So a lot of the higher elevations of southern Nevada, southern Utah getting pummeled right now. And also the Wasatch, Uintas, some of the mountains of Idaho in the south primarily, not so much in the north where it's been kind of on the drier side. On the right, you see the snow cover map. Not very extensive in the lower elevations, except for maybe parts of Nevada where snow levels are lower. But a lot of these storms that have come in this El Nino pattern have had higher snow levels. So that's one reason why the snowpack, despite all that storminess that you've seen on the news in California, is still only about 50% of normal across the Sierra. Higher, probably the highest percentage-wise in the country is across the higher terrain of Nevada, including the Ruby Mountains and some of the other ones. Here in the Wasatch as well, holding right around 100%, maybe a little bit higher in the north. So a touch above normal here in the Wasatch, but a large portion of the west basically has only 2/3 of their normal snowpack. And this is a good guide for the higher elevations of the upcoming fire season. Once we get into late February and March, those snowpack numbers don't tend to change too much. Fuel's very moist across the region, and a big reason, big low pressure area. Lots of moisture pushing into parts of Nevada, Utah, and up into parts of Idaho. Another low pressure area approaching Northern California and Southern Oregon, the very stormy pattern. We see that here on the map. A series of low pressure areas here along the west coast, but the moisture of this big broad trough extends all the way out into the Midwest. So lots of clouds, lots of moisture, and as you would expect under a low pressure trough, very good air quality. See the areas in white covering most of the Great Basin. High humidity here on the right, so really any good burning will probably be pile burns. Strong surface winds here. We see the orange gusting to over 25 to 35 miles per hour at the surface, lighter across Nevada. Of course, those transport winds will be stronger, gusting to over 40 miles an hour. Vertical mixing, very good, several thousand feet above ground level. Low pressure centered across the Great Basin. Actually, this low is right over near Vegas or the Arizona Strip on Thursday. Lots of clouds and moisture where you see the areas in green. Excellent dispersion. Again, high humidity. Winds surface starting to slacken off. Strongest winds down in the far south, and the strong transport winds in the Arizona Strip, gusting over 40, but winds should be diminishing a little bit more in the north. Excellent vertical mixing all areas. And then we have another low pressure area carving out across northern and central areas on Friday with more rain and mountain snow. And actually snow levels will be coming down Thursday and Friday. That's another thing to look at. Winds will be diminishing as we'll be under the center of low pressure. This low not quite as strong. Humidity stays, these are minimum humidity levels here on the right, and they are above 50% in just about all areas throughout the day. So quite moist. Overall. So this is the 3-day precipitation totals. You can see the heavy precipitation across the Sierra, moderate to locally heavy across the higher terrain of Utah and into some of the higher terrain of Idaho and western Wyoming as well. As we go into the weekend, that low pressure departs and we start seeing a drying trend, strong high pressure building in, and we haven't seen that in a while. Large scale northerly flow, excellent overall dispersion still. Sunday, high pressure and control. There'll be some moisture arcing up and over this high. And then on Monday, another weak frontal system approaching from the northwest, but it's going to have a tough time buckling into this high pressure area. What we'll see with the high pressure is we don't see that much area in the white here on the right-hand side, so the overall dispersion starts getting a little bit lower. Day 4 or 5 precipitation, Saturday through Monday, starts tapering off, and then we get really dry as we go into Monday through Wednesday next week. Next week overall should be a dry week in most areas. 7-day total precipitation and the 8 to 14 day outlook. And again, this shows Cooler than normal temperatures throughout, and a very strong El Nino signal of storminess across southern, maybe central areas of the Great Basin, but a strong dry signal up in the north. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.